Hey, what's up, guys? All right, y'all. Welcome back to the OS Rick Project, episode 79. Guys, welcome back. I know I've taken a break. It's been a while, guys, but there's nothing between the holidays and work kind of been picking up and not much going on that I feel like it's worthy of talking about. I feel I just take a couple of weeks break, but I'm back because a lot of stuff has happened and I want to talk about it. And since then, we've had the announcements for the Game Awards come out, which I'll get into that as the episode goes on, as the podcast goes on. But I want to talk about mostly, and of course, we had the Theft Grand Theft Auto GTA 6 trailer released, leaked. I'll talk about that real quick. I'll talk about what I've been playing, and what really wanted me to make a podcast, guys, is you guys know I'm a fan of Street Fighter and Capcom, but the way their pricing is, and I know I made a podcast when I talked about back in the summer in after Evo when they talked about a collab with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and the ridiculous pricing they did with that. Well, I want to talk about more about what they did with the outfits number 3 that has been released for Street Fighter back on the first last Friday. But um, what else, guys, can we talk about? Let's just get into it, guys. How are y'all? Welcome back. Hope everything is well. Thank you for listening. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. I know the schedule's been erratic, but guys, I feel don't make this a weekly thing if I don't feel like doing it. Right? Do it when I want to do it, when it feels great, when it feels right. Because honestly, there's a lot of YouTube content that cover the same thing, right? And I know they put in a whole bunch of work. They like putting in, you know, editing and everything. And I like to keep mine very bare bones and minimum, and that's fine. That's fine. But anyways, guys, what have I been playing? I have been playing. Recently, got back into Street Fighter since the release of the outfits. I figured, you know what, it's been a minute since I played, so I want to get back into the game, and that way I get a feel for it and look at these costumes, like how they actually look like on screen and stuff. And so I've been doing some Street Fighter, and I've been playing with leverless, guys. I went back using my snack box micro. You can show on the camera. I did have this. My wife 3D printed me some little extensions on the side just to make it easier to keep it on the lap because it's so tiny. And I got these big boy thighs that I need some more space for to be on. What else I've been playing? Armored Core 6 off and on. Going back to that, trying some new builds, new weapons, new mechs, and going back every once in a while to try to get some S rank on some of the missions. And it's a challenge. It is definitely a challenge trying to get S rank on some of these things. I noticed that if one of my builds doesn't work, I try something different. And a lot of times it's not a I don't deviate too much from what I've been doing. I kind of stick to, a couple of builds, 2 builds, maybe 3 builds, and I change the weapons depending on the situation. But I've been having a blast with that. It's been fun. But what I have been playing a lot of, I sank a whole bunch of hours over the Thanksgiving break and leading up to it is Cyberpunk 2077, believe it or not, guys. And you know what? I'm gonna tell you guys, I'm glad I played this game 3 years later after release because as much fun as I've been having with it, I don't think if I would have experienced it when it first came out, I don't think I would have been happy. I think it would have left a bad taste in my mouth, and I would have been very reluctant to come back. But I purchased the game last year during the Steam Winter Sale at 50% off, and I played it for like maybe 60, just under an hour, maybe just the very beginning tutorial area, and I was just thinking, you know what, this isn't really for me, cool, whatever, and I just kind of put it down. And it wasn't until recently, after the Phantom Liberty DLC was released, where I decided to, and they had a new update. I was like, you know what? Let me try it one more time. And also I did my dumbass picked up a 4070 GPU, and I was like, you know what? Let's see what we could do with the 4070. See how it looks like. With the 4070, look great. Looks fine. If it runs, it's a real good spot. I either put ray tracing on low or just completely turn off the ray tracing. I really do feel like it's a nice feature, but the performance hit that you take from it isn't really worth it. So I mean, you go either or when it comes to that. But playing the game, really was fun. I really did feel, and I was playing. I started off as reflex, and then I went into, I want to say technical, and then into body. And I played the game. I did every quest available except for the repeatable quest. I really didn't care for those because it's just the same thing over and over. But I did every quest, every side quest. I did the racing with Claire. I made Pan Am my love interest. The game wanted me to make out with Rivers, and I said no. The game wanted me to make out with Carrie. I said no. What else did I do? Um, I I chauffeured a clown around Night City. That was fun. I did underground. I moonlighted as a boxer. Beat up some dudes. What else did I do in that game? Hacked up a lot of people with a katana. Shot them up with my submachine guns and my ARs. So I mean, there was a lot of stuff, and it really was fun once you start dipping into the higher tiers of the talent trees. When you start seeing these abilities, and they were really cool, getting double jump or air dashing or being able to slow down time and just go crazy, or getting extra grenades or increasing the healing you get. And I played it very, very, like I said, mid range, mid to melee range, because I'd use my ARs, my submachine guns, to start some distance, and then once they get in close, I'll either use my gorilla arms or my katana to just light them up. And it was a lot of fun, guys. You really do feel like a badass. You feel like you're doing something. It felt cool. I liked it. The only little thing that I could think of that was kind of annoying was, like, man, there was a lot of cops everywhere. So you accidentally hit somebody in your car. Oops, you got Johnny Law on your ass. Um, what was it? What I did not like about it? Yeah, I think it's safe to say, I think everybody who's played it, like, I felt like the brain dances, they weren't too often, but man, when you had to do them, it was just like a snooze fest. I remember there's one quest with River where you gotta, like, well, I think his nephew gets abducted or something by some weirdo, and you have to go through a brain dance to try to solve find the clues to solve the case. That one was just like, oh my god. But other than that, though, there weren't too many of those brain dances. But those are the ones where I was just like, oof. And there are some times where, like, they just kept talking and talking and talking. Fortunately, you could just kind of fast forward through a lot of that stuff, though. But it was overall a fun experience, and I would say, if you like the first person games, and I played it like a first person shooter. There was, some RPG elements there, but they weren't like, oh my god, like the best thing ever. What I really did like, also, not only just the talent trees, but like driving around Night City at night and just seeing all the neon lights and the rear headlights, the lights bouncing off the wet concrete, the neon, of course, the reflections, all the ads going on, like that was really cool. I really did like the visuals of the game. And visuals are secondary, but they really did a good job. And I think, again, going back, that playing 2.0 is the way to go. If I would have played it before, I don't know how I would feel about it. Maybe if I was a hardcore fan of the cyberpunk genre, I would have been okay with it. But I mean, I enjoy the genre. I like the style, how it looks, the aesthetics of it. But as for the gameplay, what they did with 2.0 did it really good. And now I'm kind of on the. I think I might be picking up the Phantom Liberty DLC. I did some research on it. By research, I mean Googling how long to beat, and it looks like it's 13 hours just to beat the game, And then if you want to do all the side stuff, it's like double that. So I was like, you know what? It seems like a pretty good. It seems like something it'll be like worthwhile and investing some money into because I really did have a good time with the game, and I was playing it on my Xbox One controller. So I mean, I didn't use mouse and keyboard. I used my Xbox. The only thing I did change, guys, was on some of the settings. I put a little bit on. I help with the aim assist. I put some of that on because it's kind of just all over the place. My boomer skills, my boomer reactions, I ain't what they used to be. So I kind of just like again, like I'm not trying to be super sweaty, try hard. Like as long as like, the only thing I did go back and change was when it snaps onto an enemy, I kind of reduced that to low because there'll be some times when I'm focusing on one enemy and somebody crosses in front of my gets in front of my crosshair and it starts following them instead. So I was like, okay, you know what? Let me lower that because that got annoying. But other than that, though, I mean, like I said, and I played it on hard too, which the only time it was hard was if I didn't have a game plan and I got swarmed. That's the only time I would die. But as long as I was kind of like, took it easy, took them one by one, maybe did like a stealth approach to help clear out some of the perimeter, and then when I get in there, go a little ham. It wasn't too bad. So, I played on hard, but with a little assist here and there, and I actually saved the game right before the final mission, and I did do several playthroughs. I did one where I finished it with Panam. I did one where I sell out to the Arasaka. I did one where what I do? I think I just went solo. I did. Oh yeah, I finished it with Johnny and Rogue. So I did go over some of the endings. I didn't go through all of them. I heard someone say that there was like 7 different, maybe even more. So I only went through a handful of them, but I had a good time with it. So Cyberpunk's been pretty cool, guys. But that's what I've been playing. That's the majority. And like I said, some Street Fighter here and there, and Armored Core 6. Let's go talk about Street Fighter, guys. Let's talk about the pricing. So on December 1st, Capcom finally released Outfits number 3 for the rosters. 18. There's 18 characters. I don't think that's including that's including DLC characters also. So you got 18. I could be wrong. Check it up. Check it out for me first. So they finally released it, guys, and of course they announced it like a week before, letting us know that's gonna be coming out on the first of the month. But they didn't release any prices, which to me was a red flag. Sure enough, we find out what's the pricing for the games. Well, it looks like one costume costs 200. No, one costume costs 600 coins. But the very lousy part, very scummy part, very ridiculous part of Capcom was you can't buy just 300 coins. You could buy 250 at a time. 250, or you could buy 610, and then like it goes on these odd number increments where you're always having to get more, either more than you want or not enough. So you always have to, they always get you with the classic Capcom upsell, right? So you either get 2 I mean, the pricing is ridiculous. I hate it. It's stupid. So apparently someone did the math. If you wanted to get everything, you get the highest amount of fight coins available, which will be 49.9, which would be $50. But then you would have to buy more because it's not enough. So if you go that route, it'll be $100 to get every costume for everybody. And there's no bundle discount. And these costumes can only be purchased. You can't grind out World Tour mode like you did with Outfits number 2. Which, you know what? Even though I looking back, I think World Tour mode and all the stuff they did for the casuals to come in, I hate it. I don't hate it. I don't like it. I think it should belong to another game. But at least World Outfits number 2, you could grind them out. On this one, no, you have to buy them. So that is just, I think that's dumb. I really, when you purchased a $60 game, and now they're filling up with all these microtransactions here and there. But the thing is, like, I understand they put time and effort to make these costumes. I understand that. They want to get paid. I get it. But Capcom, can they not screw us over with the way they sell their fight coins? Can they at least make us like a nice even number? Because that's just, and they know they're doing that. And I heard so many people say, there's just no way that they're like, I don't know how you can cope with it, but just straight up, this is just ridiculous. It really is. I mean, I heard people say, well, it'll make, at least the money will go back to developers and it'll make them happy. Like, really? No, it doesn't. You know where their money goes. You know how they spend their budget. I don't think it goes back to developers until they're transparent about it. I don't know where their money goes, and even then, the way the pricing is, that was ridiculous. So I for one will not be purchasing anything. I mean, I've been playing Guile. I've been trying some other characters here and there. I tried Cammy. I've tried Ken. I did a little bit of Blanca. I tried these other characters, but I would not be buying this. And I told myself once, when the game was coming out, I was like, you know what? If Dudley ever comes out, I'm just gonna pick him up and I'm gonna buy all his costumes and everything. I was like, but you know what? No, nothing. Nah, I won't. I won't. I mean, I have thought about picking up a character if I was really interested in it. And the only one I'm really interested in right now is possibly Ed. But even then, they do have a feature where you can rent a character for an hour to try out the trials. But again, the way they do how they're pricing their fight coins, that is just complete BS. I mean, that's some like free to play BS. That a free to play game would pull on you. This shouldn't be from Capcom. It really shouldn't. That's ridiculous. I mean, people have paid like $100 for the ultimate version of the game, and only to realize that they're still not getting the ultimate version of the game because they're selling like, you if it's the ultimate version of the game, you should be getting everything for that season 1. But no, you're getting all this extra. You're having to pay for like the costume, and it's the pricing. That's the worst, guys. That's the worst. So I mean, at this point, I want to say vote with your wallet, but there's just too many people out there that just have way too much money to burn and buy this stupid stuff. And I think I mean, if you're buying that, you're dumb, dude. Just straight up, you're dumb. You're getting taken advantage of. You're being played. And I mean, I've heard some people say, well, it's less than a meal at Whataburger or McDonald's, whatever. It's like, really? That's how you're gonna cope? Like comparing it to like a fast food meal? Like that's to me, that's just a dumb cope. It really is. What else we got, boys? I didn't want to talk about this one. But I will. So the Game Awards be coming up later on this week on Thursday on the 7th. And I saw the nominees and I was a little, I know everybody has their take on it, right? From, the best indie games, and like you see Dave the Diver in there. From last year's best fighting game, you see Sifu in there, which didn't make sense. And some other things, right? I've heard some people say that Resident Evil 4 should not be there in the game of the year, like the biggest nomination. It shouldn't be in there. And I hear people say, it shouldn't be because it's a remake. And you know what? I totally understand that point. I have no issues with it being there or not there. And I've heard some people say that they should have a best remake category, which makes sense to me. I would have no issue with that. I mean, the only reason I could see Resident Evil being in there is that it's, the way I see it is, it's been so far removed from the original version of the game since it been released back in 2004, 2005, that I feel like it coming back in there is, a chance for people who never even played it, like me back in the day, have a chance to experience it, and if they never, it becomes a whole new experience. So I can see if it's something that's been a long time since it's been around, since original launch, since its original release, I really don't have an issue with it being there. Now, if it's something like The Last of Us, where it came out and then 3 years later they want to like make they want to make a remaster or something like that. Like, okay, that's ridiculous. That's dumb. Okay, but if it's been so far removed, I have no issue with like something like Resident Evil 4 being there. And some people made the argument where it shouldn't be there because it's a remake, and that would have given a spot for another game that belongs on. So, and I agree with that. Like I said, I'm not mad that Resident Evil is there. I'm not mad if it was removed. I'm fine with it. The only one I'm kind of like butthurt about is I really feel like Armored Core should be in there because I really do feel like that is a game. It's all about the gameplay first. The visuals are take a backseat. The story takes a backseat, and I'm not saying that like in direct and like to like downplay the graphics or the story. It's the stories are is like what you expect out of FromSoft, where you'll have to look up things, you'll have to read bits from different logs and input, from different battle logs, and look at different parts and look at different mechs to get their story from them and then piece it together. Very much kind of like any FromSoft game, where it's never a cohesive thing. It's always there in bits and pieces, and you have to go and then kind of have to look into like the FromSoft lore community to get all of it together. And I think that's fine because it's very unique on how they do that. The visuals, I actually do like the visuals. It's awesome. I mean, when you're flying around and you're seeing the freaking jets coming out of the side of your mech when you're bouncing around, or when you destroy an enemy, everything kind of slows down for a little bit. Or when you're seeing, the weapons getting fired, you see the lasers shooting, or the explosions from your grenades, or the blast, the flash coming out from the front of your barrel. I mean, that to me that it really does look good. I like it. I have no problems there. And I really and I think that's what the Game Awards are have forgotten, that they're not really about the games anymore. It's about whatever gives you the best cinematic experience. And you know what? Sony does do it best. They have the third person view over the shoulder, very heavy in the cinematics and stuff like that. And I understand it's different for everyone, right? I don't like those games. I don't care for those games. I think they put the gameplay to they put gameplay at second or third, and focus on either visuals or stories. And I don't think that's what video games should be. But anyways, my issue with the Game Awards is I don't and Jeff Keighley talked about, he tweeted out saying, it's there were the games that were nominated came down to 120 video game media outlets. And I've said this before too. I've talked to my wife about this, and I'm not a big fan of Hogwarts Legacy. I didn't care for it. I thought the game was just okay. You play as a little wizard in Hogwarts, a little slice of life, blah blah blah. You get some spells, cool, whatever, done. It didn't get nominated for anything at all. Not game of the year, not gameplay, not action game, not RPG, nothing. Now, this game is one of the top selling games of 2023. So you cannot deny it. Did it get a whole bunch of things at launch because people were wanting to boycott the game because of what J.K. Rowling was saying, has said about before about women and stuff? Look, first of all, I agree with her. I think she's 100% right. But people don't like that, and they got to toe a line. So that game was and even they said that she had nothing to do with the game, but because it's something that she created. You know how it was when it was releasing. People were going into other people's stream and harassing them because they were playing this game and they were supporting Jake, whatever. It was complete BS, right? But this game got 0 nominations at all, and it makes me start to think, it's like, why was the game really that bad? I didn't play it, nor do I care to play it. But again, it's a very big IP, one of the best selling games of 2023, and it's nominated for nothing. 120 people all agreed to not put this game for anything. Are they all towing the line? Are they all afraid of if they have an opinion on the game that they're going to be blacklisted or shunned, or excommunicado from the video game community or something like that. Because now it makes you start thinking, what's next? What's next? If you feel like there's something controversial about your game, or because someone's affiliated with it, now what? If it doesn't agree to a certain zeitgeist that's going on, your game won't be allowed to be celebrated, to win awards. And again, you guys heard me say this before, where at the end of the year, at the end of the day, the best game of the year is going to be the one that you played, of course, of course. But I mean, you also got to remember that a lot of the games, they'll get this year of like they'll get the the definitive edition or the game of the year award, or game of the year a version of the game and stuff like that. I mean, there is some notoriety that comes with it, with getting some accolades and stuff like that. But I just, like I said, it makes me start to question is, do things have to start falling in line? And if they don't, what happens? That's the scary part. That's the scary part, because I don't want it to become the norm. I know it sounds kind of like tinfoil hat, guys, but I just want you to think about that, guys. And honestly, like that, I always knew the Game Awards were kind of, they had their political leanings and stuff like that. Fine, but to me, it was always about what kind of announcements are we going to get, what kind of trailers are we going to get for the following year. That's the most important part for me. But now with this going on, now I feel like if they don't like what you're about, the messaging, they would just completely just like censor you and sweep you under the rug and promote their thing, their way of thinking, and video games that align with their interests. So I really find that just really terrible, really really scary, mostly scary, guys, because I don't know what's gonna go on, what's gonna happen with stuff like that. But just be aware of it, guys. That's all I want you to do, is for you guys to be aware. Think about it. Think why. Like I said, I'm sure it, even if it's stand on its own, it's probably not gonna be the game of the year, and that's fine. But to not get nominated for anything, nothing. And again, and let's think about the developers, guys, and the crew that did all, and the team that had to do all this work to make this game. I want to say, it might have had some issues, but the game was playable. It was pretty much well received. None of them get any like acknowledgement or reward. That's ridiculous. That's just stupid. Um, Speaking of stupid stuff coming out again that we don't care for, The Last of Us Part 2 coming out again. Now, if it's gonna be like a $10 upgrade, like they did with Horizon Zero Dawn or Ghost of Tsushima, okay, that's not too bad. It's $10. A $10 upgrade to get the I guess the new. I have no idea. Whatever they're adding to it. I guess that's not too bad, right? But somehow I feel like this is gonna be Sony trying to get. This is gonna be. Oh, what's his name? Oh boy, Jim Ryan's old. You know what? His final. You know what? Let's charge him $70. Let's make some more money out of this. All right. We'll make them buy a $40 base plate for the next slim version, or we'll make them buy a the PlayStation Portal, another Wi-Fi handheld. Might as well get them to pay $70 for a remake that we just made out 70 years ago. That's kind of mid. Yeah, I see that, and just like, man, that's terrible. That's ridiculous. Why does this game need a remaster? It just came out. It came out back in 2020, guys, and it won Game of the Year. You know what should have won Game of the Year? Hades. That's a real game. Hades is the truth, guys. Play that game. That's fun. Just look, guys. It's okay to be a Sony fanboy, but just know when they are just trying to milk you and take advantage of you. Okay, that should not be celebrated. That's not good. That's awesome. That's not awesome. That's ridiculous. That's stupid. Speaking of Sony, and look, guys, I have a PlayStation 5. I enjoy Sony. I have no problems with it. I mean, I have lots of problems with it, the corporation, but overall, I like the PlayStation. According to the PlayStation blog, the Discovery content as of Discovery Channel, the merger, everything they're doing, other content as of December 31st, 2023, due to content licensing, you will no longer be able to watch previously purchased Discovery content and will be removed from your library. There's not much on Discovery Channel or Discovery, the whole umbrella that I watch. There isn't. But I think we talked about this before, guys, about the dangers of digital media. Not only can you not watch it, will it not be available on their store anymore, but they're removing it from your library. It's kind of like them coming to your house, going through your Blu-ray collection and saying, yep, you can't have that. I'm going to take that. They're stealing from you. You purchased that. Because of licensing, you can't have that. It's happening now with TV shows because these corporations are always buying each other, and those they buy this, they can't have that, can't be allowed on this platform. But how far do you think that is from happening with video games, guys? How far do you think that's going to happen? I mean, we already seen Microsoft picking up all these developers. Who's to say that one day they won't go like, okay, well, we bought this company and we don't want their content and their licensing, because when you decided to digitally buy that, in the fine print it says we're just licensing it to you, and now we're going to revoke that license. That's the scary part, guys. We're seeing it happen. It starts with stuff on TV, and then little by little, and look, I've talked about it before, guys. I haven't bought a physical thing, and the last thing I bought that was physical was Final Fantasy 16 on the PlayStation. My Steam games, I buy them on Steam, it's PC, so I just get the code and download it, and that's it. I'll buy physical like when it's something I really want on the PlayStation for console. But they are taking some stuff. It's happening, guys. It is happening, and it's just a matter of time when they start going for your games, guys. You've heard it here, okay? Be prepared. You've been warned. I kind of want to talk about the Fallout TV series coming out to Amazon. I'll talk about it briefly, but we've been seeing a lot of this recently, guys, where you're starting to see your video game franchises being brought to either the silver screen or the small screen, either to your streaming service or TV and stuff like that. And, I remember being younger thinking, oh, that's pretty cool, that's awesome. But now it comes to the point where it's like, why do they feel like, these video game franchises need to be validated by having to be on a screen? I mean, if you think about all these modern games, they're basically movies and TV shows already. And now they want to put them like on an actual, like, what for? What for? Like when The Last of Us, that was already that was already a cinematic experience, and now they put it on TV. Okay, cool. Whatever. I saw the first three episodes. I think 3 episodes. Yeah, 3 episodes, and then I was like, I checked out. I'm done. Whatever. But I don't know why they feel like they gotta do this with TV shows. And the thing, it's coming out. It's gonna be Amazon of all people making out the Fallout series, and they like to put the spin on it, like from the studio that brought you The Boys. Well, they did bring The Boys. That's true, but they also brought you Rings of Power, A Wheel in Time. What other crappy Netflix or Amazon series have they put out? Yeah, mostly Ring of Power. You remember that one? How bad that one is? Yeah. So I don't have much faith when it comes to Amazon. I haven't had much faith in Amazon. Like, look, I order from you guys. I get it here in 2 days. You know what? That's cool. oh, every once in a while I could like maybe go on Amazon Video because it's part of the Prime and I could watch a movie or something. Okay, that's cool. Um, but them making TV shows, like, I don't care, dude. Just make sure I get my stuff here in 2 days. That's what I need you to do. Okay. I just don't have any like confidence, and I'm not a big Fallout fan. I'm not a big Fallout fan. The only Fallout game I played was Fallout 4, and apparently that's not even the good one. Okay, which so that just shows you like how much of a fan I am. I'm not. I care more about the Elder Scrolls than I do more of the Fallout series. But like again, it coming out on Amazon, like, oof, it is not. I have very low. I mean, I'll watch the first episode just to like get a sense of where it's going, but I have no hopes for that game. Very low hopes for that one. What else, guys? Is that it? Was that it that I want to talk about? Anything else? I think that was it, guys. Anyways, guys, thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. I know I haven't been here in a while. It's been kind of spotty, but like I said, the holidays been going on and work's been crazy. So I'll try to get back to it, but I don't want to make this just like a forced thing every week. If I'm gonna come back, it's when I'm ready, to talk about things and discuss things and maybe go in depth and I feel really strong about it because look, at the end of the day, there is ton of YouTube content, YouTubers out there that are talking about video game news and what's going on and was and giving their spin on it, and they're doing a great job. And me, like, I'm not trying to compete with that. All I want to do is every once in a while when I feel like there's something that I want to talk about, I want to put it out there and just give y'all my points of view. Because like I said, everybody has different takes on everything, and that's fine, and that's what makes it fun, right? So again, they're doing a great part. They're doing a good job. But every once in a while, I kind of want to chime in and just give you my perspective as someone who actually, really, because I love video games. This is one of my favorite hobbies, and I want to share it with you guys. And I want this to be something fun, but I don't want it to become. I always wanted to stay in the mindset of you're playing a game. That's the important part. When it starts becoming a business, when it just starts becoming how can we how can we make you our wallet? How can we, extract the money from your wallet? That's when I start getting upset because to me, it's not even fun anymore. It's not even it's not about making great games. It just becomes how can we just squeeze every penny out of you? And that's what I hate. And I think that's BS. So, anyways, guys, I might be catching the Game Awards just to see from announcements. Maybe I'll do a live stream and talk about it. But I really don't know. Like I said, I'm really kind of bummed out in the direction they're going with this stuff. So we'll see. Anyways, guys, have a good night. Thank you for listening. I appreciate y'all. If y'all want to talk about anything or have any comments, just write them down below or message me, whatever. And just stay tuned and subscribe and hang out for the next one. All right, guys. I love y'all. Have a good night. Play some video games. Take care of yourselves. Get some rest. And I hope to see you next time. Bye, guys. Peace out.